DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, the governor's race for 2024 is heating up. Plus, Newcastle County Police and Fire get a boost in a budget proposed by the county executive. And a brave soldier is honored at a local museum. Those stories and much more coming up tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer made his official entry into the 2024 governor's race today. A former public school math teacher and small business owner, Meyer has served as Newcastle County Executive since 2017. Joined by his wife, Dr. Lauren Meyer, and their newborn son, Levi, Meyer shared his vision for the state as he filed for his candidacy, focusing on affordable housing, the state's public education system, as well as health care. Quote, "We don't just make promises," he said, "we make plans, and from those plans, we make progress." Colin O'Mara, former secretary of the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control, has also filed for the job. Current Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long has declared her candidacy as well. A Democratic primary is scheduled for September 10th. And speaking of Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer, he was busy this week. He also proposed a budget of $342 million for the upcoming fiscal year. The proposal includes a 10% raise for police officers as part of efforts to enhance public safety. This proposed budget marks a 3% increase over the previous year, largely attributed to rising personnel costs. Despite the budget expansion, Meyer assured residents that there are no planned property tax or sewer rate hikes.
With no tax increase in 6 years, in fact, we decreased taxes last year for the first time in my lifetime. We've managed this county through the past 5 years through historic inflationary times without increasing taxes a dime. From police to paramedics to 911 to parks to libraries to the Hope Center. The overwhelming majority of Newcastle County residents receive all of these services for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day.
Newcastle County will begin departmental budget hearings next month. And staying in Newcastle County, the State Fire Marshal's office is currently investigating 2 separate house fires that occurred early this Wednesday morning. The first blaze broke out on Fraser Place in Collins Park shortly after 5 a.m. this morning, with flames visible from the front of the home. Upon arrival of firefighting units, no injuries were reported on the incident, luckily there. And then shortly after, at 7 a.m., another fire was reported on, this time Augusta Drive in Chestnut Hill Estates near Ogletown. This fire raised concerns of a potential individual maybe trapped inside. Well, firefighters discovered a basement blaze when they got there, but they did luckily find the home unoccupied. Meanwhile, en route to that Ogletown fire we just mentioned, a fire truck was involved in a crash on Route 4 near Stanton. State police say one person was reported injured in that crash. And an update to a story that we brought you yesterday. 2 teens have now been charged with setting a fire at the Acme grocery store in the Grove Shopping Center of Newark earlier this week. The fire resulted in heavy damage, smoke damage that is, to the store, which was estimated at $250,000. The building sprinkler system activated, which then alerted local firefighters to respond. To Sussex County now, where it was a disappointing day for officials in the Cape Henlopen School District Tuesday, where voters rejected a property tax increase by a margin of roughly 54%. It was the 5th school district referendum seeking property tax hikes this year. Cape Henlopen sought around $80 million to fund expansion plans, security measures, salary increases, and a 50-meter spectator seating swimming pool. 20% of the funding would have gone toward purchasing property and construction of a new district headquarters. Superintendent Bob Fulton released a statement saying that his team will now work together over the next few weeks to determine what their next steps will be. Switching gears here, a wanted fugitive was arrested during a traffic stop early Tuesday morning, which soon led to the arrest of his brother. Let us explain here. A Laurel police officer conducted a traffic stop on Sussex Highway and Laurel Road after noticing a car had a warrant flag. The driver, identified as Kevin Fields of Laurel, Delaware, had an outstanding warrant and was taken into custody without incident. To avoid towing, Fields apparently called his brother to pick up the vehicle. A police check revealed that the brother, identified as Keith Fields, had an outstanding warrant as well as was also taken into custody. Both of the brothers were processed and released on their own recognizance. And in Dover, a 19-year-old man faces charges in connection with the June 2nd shooting at the Paradise Grill. Jashawn Moore was arrested after a months-long investigation into the fight that led to several men fighting inside the bar. Police say Moore and two women were driving from the scene when shots were fired. No one was injured, luckily, but numerous bullet casings were found. Moore was charged with several felony gun possession and reckless endangering charges. He was committed to Sussex Correctional Institution in place of an $87,000 cash bail. And Newark is making waves with its tax initiatives, particularly focusing on revenue streams from the University of Delaware. The City Council has recently passed resolutions to amend Newark's charter, granting authority to impose a per-student tax on universities and taxes on lease revenue. Initially proposing a fee of up to $50 per semester per student and a tax of up to 1% on gross rental receipts on residential properties, including those owned by the University of Delaware, both resolutions gained approval. However, amidst talks of potential litigation, the proposal on taxing rental revenues is now under consideration as of just this week, with further discussion is going to be postponed now until April. And staying in Newark, while Delaware is gearing up for the launch of retail marijuana stores, Newark officials are hesitant about permitting one in the heart of the college town. Councilwoman Creasy supports opening, growing, manufacturing, and retail sites in Newark, citing personal experiences with the benefits of marijuana products. However, Councilwoman Ford adamantly opposes having retail establishments in the college town, preferring them to stay elsewhere. Mayor Jerry Clifton and Councilwoman Lawhorn expressed reservations about having stores on Main Street, but they suggest industrial plaza settings for retail locations. While concerns about secondhand smoke and odor lead some of the council members to oppose retail licenses within Newark city limits, while others explore alternate options like educational productions by the University of Delaware to support local services. No decisions were made during this week's council meeting, with city staff tasked to explore regulation options. We want to remind you that Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, and Ocean View, as long as Rehoboth Beach, have already issued marijuana bans. Middletown elected to ban retail businesses. Turning to education news now, the Delaware Department of Education has named 4 teachers as state finalists for the 2024 Presidential Awards for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching, the highest recognition a teacher can receive in the country. These finalists will now move to the national level for final selection. The goal of the program is to recognize and honor the highest standards in teaching. The Delaware state finalists are Brittany Campbell, a math teacher in Lake Forest South Elementary School at, of course, Lake Forest School District. Next up, we have Karen Eller, a science teacher of the Bancroft School. It's going to be in the Christiana School District. And Carrie Haley, a math teacher at Forward Elementary School in the Brandywine School District. And Carlos Pesquera, another math teacher at Brittingham Elementary School in the Cape Henlopen School District. A big congratulations to the 4 of them. And 98-year-old William Bieber, a famed World War II veteran who flew 10 combat missions over Japan, was recognized Tuesday at the Air Mobility Command Museum in Dover. Bieber exhibited the heights of bravery as a ball turret gunner. These men squeezed into a fetal position in an orb hanging beneath the bomber plane, armed with a machine gun. Governor John Carney signed a proclamation from the Delaware Division of Veterans Affairs, while U.S. Tom Carper and Dover Air Force 436 Airlift Wing Commander William McDonald also spoke of Bieber's contributions. And finally tonight, the Bluecoats reaffirmed their commitment to education on Wednesday, and DETV was honored to be there. More than 2,000 students from across schools around our area were invited to the midday game today at the Chase Field House in Wilmington. The game was tipped off by none other than, look at this, our very own Ivan Thomas, along with his Good Morning Wilmington co-host Vincenza Carrieri-Russo. Students were treated to a game which unfortunately the Bluecoats lost, but that's all right. And they enjoyed other activities during the day. Looking good there, Ivan and Vincenza. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us across your favorite social media platforms. And for a look at what's happening all around the state of Delaware, head to our website. That's detvch.com. With tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you right back here next time.